What's up, guys? It's Mizuna, and welcome back to episode 18? 17? I don't really remember where we are at this point, but welcome back to another episode on the Direwolf20 server. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a good one. We have a lot to get done today, and not a ton of time to record, so I'm going to jump right in. First, an update on our androgenic generator. I tore it down. That's loud. I tore it down, redesigned it, moved it over, and rebuilt it. Why did I do all this? The androgenic generator is super finicky! So finicky! I didn't know how inconsistent these things were when I first decided to make this our power gen. Man, if you add anything to the chunk that these things are in, which, by the way, is why I moved it, I wanted it to be in one chunk instead of overlapping on two. If you do anything in the chunk, if you add any block that ticks, then all of the timings can and most likely will break. So, basically, you want to build this in such a way where you can build it, test it, and then forget about it. The design I'm using is much, much simpler than the one we built last episode. If you're interested, a tutorial will be going up on the channel either today or tomorrow on how to build this design, although because they're so inconsistent and because every design has to be built per chunk, any tutorial I upload will be slightly wrong for your world. So it'll be kind of a generic thing. You'll watch it and you'll be like, okay, that's how to do it, and then you'll have to tweak to your own specific needs, which is kind of cool, I guess. So that's the update on that. As far as other things are concerned, what else is going on? We still have a full blood network. We're doing great there. Our emerald upgraded barrel of slates is completely full at the other altar, which is kind of cool. All the witches over there died. Not sure. I think mobs got in with them, and that's probably what happened. Not a huge deal. So that's the update on all of the things that have been going on with me. Now, let's get into today's episode. In today's episode, we will be building a new dimension for us to live in, which is really exciting. Basically, doing a bunch of things in the overworld, slows down the ticks per second for the overworld. You can see dimension 0 there. The mean tick time is 21.285, which means that it's slightly less than 20 ticks per second. Which is what you want, obviously, is 20 ticks per second. That's the maximum TPS Minecraft operates at, and it's where you want to be. So, we're going to make ourselves a void world to live in so that we can avoid lagging other people out and lagging ourselves. And that's my plan for this series moving forward. We're not done with the tower yet. We're not done with the hourglass build that I envisioned when I first settled down here. We're going to be doing more around here. This area will continue to evolve. But for now, it's time to start on our real base, on our main base, on the one that we will live in until the very end of this series. To do that, we're going to need to get really deep into RFTools dimensions. So I've got some crafting recipes laid out here. First of all, to build the dimension, we're going to need a dimension inscriber, paper, iron, redstone, ink, and a machine frame. Easy. We're going to need a dimension builder. Easy. We're going to need a... How did that redstone go away? That's fine. And we're going to need a dimension editor. Awesome. Now, I've also, by the way, linked all of this together. This is open because we're going to be doing something with this today, with a power monitor from Ender.io, which basically emits redstone signals on when we're low on power, and then tells the system to turn on and turns it off when we have enough power. So that's really good. And we've also linked all of that together with a vibrant capacitor that I put here. The vibrant capacitor bank is simply a vibrant crystal, which we've made before, vibrant alloy surrounding an emerald, electrical steel, and octadic capacitors, which, if you don't remember, are double layer capacitors with vibrant alloy. These are energetic alloy with basic capacitors. So pretty simple, pretty easy. We have all of these resources at this point, so we can make this without much of a problem. Okay. So, how do these work? Well, RFTools Dimensions is a really cool mod. And you can see that there aren't actually that many items from it. So we're going to need to get ourselves an empty dimension tab. This is just paper and redstone. Pretty easy. And I do have some stuff in my inventory. I'll get to that in a second. We're actually going to want a few of these. So I'm going to make a bunch. Do they stack, is my question. They do. The empty ones stack. Okay, I'll just make 12 of them. Sure, we're going to use that many eventually anyway. Now, I'm going to grab some energy conduit for now, because I can't be bothered to set up a permanent location for these in a place that is not going to be our permanent location. So you plop down the dimension inscriber. This, I believe, does not use energy, actually. So we don't need that. And I don't think the editor uses energy either. So never mind, don't need any of this. That's fine. Inscriber. Plop down the dimension builder. This guy does take power, quite a lot of it. We should see in a little while this system turn on, by the way, now that we're calling for a bunch of this power. And the dimension editor. So, this does require power. Interesting. Maybe we don't need this block yet. I thought we did, but maybe we don't. So how these dimensions work is you inscribe these empty dimension tabs, which you can edit in the inscriber. You can put things into them and pull things out of them. You store them, so if I put one in here and say store, this will make a new dimension as soon as I say store. Don't want to do that quite yet. Then you put the dimension in here. I think that's the O key. Then you put that dimension in here, it will receive power, and they have a generation cost and an upkeep cost for RF, and then that's a new dimension. How do you get there? Well, you use the teleportation system from RFTools, which I actually have laid out here. We're going to need a dialing device, a matter transmitter, and, well, not yet, but yes, kind of yet, a matter receiver. So we're going to use these to get around. I've made a couple more because I want them later. We're also going to need a way to get back when we do go to the new dimension, for which I've made a charged porter. So how the charged porter works, I'm actually going to set up a conduit after all so that I can still access this and charge up my charged porter. The charged porter stores a matter receiver, this yellow one, which does require power, by the way, and then you can right-click it to transport yourself there. So if I were to, for instance, throw this down here, this would get power. I can name this home and access private. And I believe I just add myself to the list like so. Then if I sneak right click, charge porter target is set to 1, go over here, and right click, bam! I move over to the matter receiver. Pretty cool, right? And that uses a little bit of RF. So if I, and this can be done cross-dimensionally, this can be done from anywhere. So if I'm here, say, bam, I'm back. This takes more energy cross-dimensionally and the farther away you are. Now, this can only save one location. I want to be able to move back and forth at will between my house and the new dimension. For that, we're going to need an advanced porter. So the advanced charge porter, just some diamonds and redstone blocks around the original porter, can hold 8 locations instead of... Yeah, see? It can hold 8 locations instead of 1. So if I sneak right click And then you can see, number 1, home, dimension 0, is set. So then I can still use this from anywhere. And I believe as you receive more locations, you can... I'm not sure how you... I've never used this before, to be completely honest. But once we have multiple matter receivers, we will see what happens with that. So we're going to want that, definitely. So, if you store an empty dimension tab, and I hit store here, it will make a random dimension. Let's do that now. So this is now a realized dimension tab. You can see it has a creation cost of 1000 RF per tick and a maintenance cost of 10 RF per tick. If we then put that in the dimension builder, then it will begin to build this dimension. Now it's completely built. These have a huge internal buffer of energy, absolutely gigantic. So we should be pulling out a ton of energy from our system right now and calling for this to make more at some point. I hope. It'll take a little while to burn through this, actually. Oh, this is still full. You know what? We have a backlog in the endogenic generators as well. They hold quite a bit. So there you go. This dimension is now ready to be used. I can teleport there with a matter transmitter. If I just plop this down, don't worry, all of this will move. I'm just doing this as an example. And set this to public for now, until we can actually get into this dimension and make it private. And then we need to dial the new dimension, for which we're going to need a dialing device. Do you need power? You do. So I'm going to put you here, and then dial from here to this one, and just hit dial. Dialing device power low. Why? Are you empty? No. There we go. Now I should be able to dial this connection. So this is our matter transmitter right here. You can see it's the only one. And this is the new dimension, which if you click on the dimension builder, you can see is ID2. So let's make a connection. Bam, the dial is okay. So if I stand on this beam, I will be transported to a brand new dimension. Here we go. Wow, that's really actually quite hard when you're this fast. There we go. And we're teleporting. So it's gonna have to do some terrain gen here, which might take just a minute. I hope we don't crash. There we go. New dimension. Oh, this is kind of cool, huh? Oh, neat. So these dimensions can have a lot of stuff going on with them. For instance, this one looks like it has fir wood as like its primary block. We're going to get some frame rate lag as this loads in. I can hear blazes. Apparently blazes spawn here just randomly, so that's interesting. I'm going to set a waypoint before we do much exploring. I guess it doesn't actually matter because we already made our charge porter, but still. So what is this? Is this obsidian or this is chiseled obsidian orbs. Orbs of chiseled obsidian and orbs of wool, which are actually really helpful. That's a cool thing to have. And then we have fir wood and dirt, and it looks like this is actually a void dimension, which is cool. Wow, what a crazy thing to happen. These can be really, really weird. Like, you can do all sorts of stuff with this. For instance, I can make myself a lava ocean and just pull lava out forever. I could make an entire dimension made entirely of... It's cool that these are chiseled obsidian. I could make an entire dimension made of, for instance... Oh, I don't know. What's a really random block? Pink wool. I could make an entire dimension of pink wool if I wanted to. And that's where the dimension inscriber comes in. You can customize these dimensions. So, wow, so slow, huh? It is doing a lot of chunk loading. I'm gonna grab some wool while I'm here. Why not? Isn't that cool? Hey, can I bound pickaxe this wool? No. How about the shovel? No, it doesn't register. That's unfortunate. Oh well. So this is how these work. Now, if I went exploring in this world, then we would find, eventually, a little hut that generates in the RFTools dimensions. Man, this is really chugging because we're loading a bunch of chunks. I'm gonna let Jay know, who's on the server, that there might be some lag. Okay, this might not be the best world to find one of those in, actually. I'm gonna see if I can't look at the mini-map here. There we go. Hey, look at that. I found one. Sorry for the low frame rate, guys. Just generating a new dimension, so it takes a little bit of horsepower. So, in these dimensions are these RFTools buildings, and inside of them, we can find dimlets. And these are used to make custom dimensions. So, for instance, material dimlet, brown stained glass. We could use this to make an entire dimension made of brown stained glass. This is a time normal dimlet, and this is a chiseled stone dimlet. So that would make a chiseled stone. We can make these orbs, for instance, out of chiseled stone, or the ground out of chiseled stone, whatever. We also have these dimlet control circuits, which we can use to make which are needed to make custom dimensions. Oh, that did not work, apparently. There we go. So that's really cool. I'm actually going to explore here for a while. Interesting. I'm going to explore here for a while off camera, find a bunch of these dimlets, because I think this will be a good place to find them. And then I will come back with you guys when we're ready to make our own dimension. So I traveled around in that dimension for a little while and picked myself up some dimlets. I didn't find too many of those little houses, but that's okay. Right now, what we're gonna do is we're going to make a few quality of life changes to the base. Now that I've started teleporting around places, I really don't want to be stuck flying up to the blood altar, and just things like that are really starting to irk me. So the first thing we're going to do, actually, is I think this should be done. Or I already have it. Okay, cool. I made myself an ender crystal from Ender.io. You can see this is vibrant crystal, which we know how to make, and a soul vial with an enderman in it. Obviously, enderman soul vial, not very hard with an enderman farm down there that I can turn on at will. So we made that. And with this, we can make ourselves, if I grab out some dark steel, we can make ourselves the Staff of Traveling. Are you used in any recipes? Advanced Inventory Panel Remote. Interesting. You are, but when we charge this up, it has a couple of really cool features. If we shift-click with the Staff of Traveling, we zip forward just a little bit. And if I do this downward, by the way, it does work in a downward direction, which is really cool. So that's the first little quality of life change we're going to make. Very handy tool to have around, the Staff of Traveling. If you pair this item with travel anchors, however, the recipe for which I have here, these are pulsating crystals, which are just a diamond surrounded with pulsating iron. if you use this with travel anchors, which are really cool blocks, if I put one of these in the floor right here, I don't believe these even need... No, they don't. Okay, cool. These don't even need power, which is cool. So I'm going to name this ground floor. If I'm standing anywhere holding the travel anchor within, I think it's 50 blocks, I can see that travel anchor right there with the Staff of Traveling in my hand. If I right-click on it, it immediately takes me to it. So I've built 3 of these things, one of which is going to go down in the Enderman farm, because I don't like having to break some of that glass to get down here to debug or whatever. So if I just make this Enderman farm, then I should be able to... Oh. Yep, there we go. Up to the ground floor, down to the Enderman farm. And back up to the ground floor. Very cool. Now, if I put one of these up at the blood altar, you should see the exact same thing happen. I'm going to put this... It's time to update this staircase, by the way. But for now, right here. And call it blood altar. Another cool thing about these is if you stand on one, then you can just hit jump, and you'll be taken immediately to whichever one you're looking at. So a cool way to get around even without the staff. But with the staff, I can do this from anywhere in my base. If I'm standing here, then I can do it. Like, this is a huge upgrade from where we were just a second ago, as I'm sure you can see. So, very cool, very cool. Man, I like that a lot. Okay, so the next thing we need to do is we need to... What do I have here? Another matter receiver. That's going to go in the village so that I can get back there quickly with my advanced charge porter. Now we need to make ourselves our own custom dimension. What I'm going to want here is I'm going to want a terrain dimlet void, which can be crafted, actually. This is a brick, paper, and redstone. So if I just grab a brick, do I have one? No. So clay, I know I have one of those. We have redstone on us and some paper. Smelt up the clay. Brick in the center. Paper here, here, here. And redstone. No? Terrain, dimlet, void. Oh. Paper goes on the bottom. There we go. So there is our terrain, dimlet, void. So if we put this in our inscriber, which I think is here. Do you require power? No, you don't. If I put a empty dimension tab in there, and then I put the terrain dimlet void in there, what we will get is a void dimension. However, I want to make sure that it doesn't have any effects. So effect none is an apple, paper, and redstone. You can see that some of these recipes are pretty easy. They actually, McJitty, the author of RFTools, wanted to make it really easy for people to make void dimensions for things like lag purposes. So that'll make sure that there is no effects in the age like hunger, I'm thinking Mistcraft, in the dimension like hunger or absorption or anything like that that'll make it expensive. Feature dimlet, none. A string, redstone and paper. Should have plenty of string. And I have plenty of string, by the way, because I... Oh, interesting. I can see that in one of these. That's odd. So put that in the dimension inscriber. Now we'll get no features. So no features, no effects, and void terrain. Now, I want to make a time noon dimlet, but I think I can't do that yet, so our time in this dimension might be really weird. I might want to think of a good way to fix that? Oh, I can put this stained glass back now that I've got that travel anchor down there, can't I? I don't know. Should we store it and see what happens? Or should we just put a time normal in there and then it could be nighttime at times? Well, let's see. We have a... I think we had a time normal dimlet. We do. Yeah, let's just put a time normal in there. That's fine. I'll let it be night in the dimension. Do we have, like, a sky normal or anything like that? Sky normal night, sky normal day. Are these craftable? Yeah. Sky normal gives us, that needs dimlet templates, which are dimensional shard ore. Okay, so this gets a little bit harder. This dimlet is blacklisted. Interesting. You know what? I'm just going to roll the dice. Worst comes to worst, I can always just delete this dimension in the server file so that it doesn't take up space. Oh, did I... Okay, I can still name this. So I'm going to name it Mizuna 737. Mizuna's home. There. Now it's called Mizuna's home. If I put this in the dimension builder to power it up, it's going to power up. It's going to take 32 RF per tick to sustain, which is basically nothing. So that's not really a thing. And now it's going to power up, and I can dial this with my dialing device, which I have here. U to Mizuna's home, dial. Now, make sure that you have your charged porter. Step through the teleporter. Cross your fingers. Looks like it is dawn. We do have slime islands, which means that this is going to spawn mobs like crazy. Are we in the middle of a chunk? We are. Excellent. I can get rid of this slime island really quick and really painlessly. There are slime islands all over the place. That doesn't respect the features none, huh? That's unfortunate. Upgrade acquired, huh? What did you acquire? Oh, we have bodybuilder now. Interesting. That gives us knockback resistance, so I'm pretty okay with having that on my chestplate, actually. Very cool. I got rid of my training bracelets, by the way. Just didn't really need them. Well, that's going to be annoying, but I can get rid of that really easily, can't I? Make sure this is on, and just... Very nice. Make sure to get rid of all the water. I'm getting a little bit distracted. The important thing is we now have a void dimension where I'm getting... Well, I've locked my FPS to 60, but where I'm getting a perfect 60 frames per second, not lagging anyone else, and if I look at the TPS for this dimension that I'm in, I think it's dimension 3, and I think the... Yeah, it's 4 milliseconds is a tick versus dimension 0, which is 18 milliseconds. So... This is really good. This is really, really good. This is going to be an awesome place to construct our base. I'm going to put this on my advanced charge porter. I want to clean this up just while I'm thinking about it, because this is going to drive me absolutely insane. So, let's commit slime murder together, shall we, guys? Oof, they spawn from this water, so I want to get rid of the water. Wow, this stuff doesn't go away very easily, huh? Not very easily at all. Do I have to follow it all the way down to void? Really? Well, that's just frustrating. Okay, I'll do it off camera. Whoop, careful not to fall into the void. We're going to have to be very careful of that. So now we can go here whenever we want. And just by clicking our advanced charge porter. And as long as we keep that matter receiver powered and the... I want to interrupt that. Oh, a little bit of a kickback there. Interrupt. There we go. As long as we keep that matter receiver powered and we keep the dimension tab powered in our dimension builder, that will always be there. So in between episodes, I'm going to clean things up around here. I'm going to make sure that all of this stuff is in a good spot so that for the next few episodes, we can work in our new Void Age. I don't want to leave it for a few episodes after this. So I'm going to move the AE system over. I'm going to get an actual storage room. I'm probably actually going to move this endergenic generator again. It didn't take me that long, to be honest, but I want this to be the centerpiece of our new base. All right, guys, that's all I have time for today. We got a lot done today, and now we have our staff of traveling, which is really cool, which is going to be hugely helpful moving forward. Very nice to be able to teleport, obviously. Yes, we are going to be moving the Blood Altar over to the new base as well. Probably going to make it even better than it already is, actually. Going to be automating a lot of things. Guys, this is really the next step for us. So, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, leave a like and a comment down below. Really helps me out. Subscribe for more content every day. And if you want to make recording even more a part of my life than it already is, please do feel free to follow the link in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. That'll take you to my Patreon page where you can become a supporter. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope I see you next time. And as always, this is Mizuna, signing off. Very close there. See you next time, guys.